The last round of voting machines have been shipped out to 6 Georgia counties, including Gwinnett, one of the largest counties in the state. There are now 30,000 new machines spread across Georgia. Election officials who are just receiving them have about 2 weeks to test them before early voting starts in Georgia's presidential primary. And security is top of mind. They're testing everything on these machines, from the touch screens to the scanners to the ballot box. They want to make sure everything's ready.